I'm Dan Drake. This is Front Up on Visitor Network TV, and our guest is Kim Horyn, the Executive Director of Autism Speaks on Nantucket. Kim,
Thank
welcome.
you.
Thanks for coming. Before we get into a couple of specifics about what Autism Speaks is doing here, can we talk just for a minute about what autism is in a broad sense, just so people understand what is included? What's the spectrum of autism in terms of disabilities, learning issues, and so forth, and then we can go into the specifics about what you're doing here.
Okay. Autism is a neurological disorder, and the spectrum is huge. From individuals who will need 24/7 support all their lives, right up through to the other end where mild autism, high-functioning autism, and Asperger are individuals who can go to college, who can drive, and
who can hold jobs.
They can hold jobs. They can live independently, but they lack social skills. They lack some executive functioning, which is time management, planning. So these things get in their way of, for instance, living independently or going to college. They need supports, but not as much as some other individuals on the spectrum.
Why has autism sort of become a focus? I mean, this is a terrible phrase to use, but in a sense it's become the disease du jour. It's become the thing that a lot of people are paying attention to, whereas until, 10 years ago or so, maybe a little longer than that, but it was not something that anybody knew anything about or was able to deal with or pay attention to.
Well, first of all, the statistics. This year, 1 in 88 children will be diagnosed with autism, and 1 in 54 boys. Boys are 4 times more prevalent to autism. And that's a crisis. Our school systems have to be ready, again, for their future as adults, housing, work. How are we going to support these individuals? The United Nations has 3 health-related days: AIDS, diabetes, and now autism, which we feel speaks volumes to the worldwide concern about this.
How much is this a result of what Suzanne and Bob Wright have done?
I think a lot. Their grandson was diagnosed when he was 3. He's now 10. And they went to the doctor, finally got, after many doctor's appointments, got a diagnosis. And they were told goodbye and good luck. And Suzanne Wright likes to tell that story. And the more families they talk to who have the same diagnosis receive the same feedback. Nothing about the most effective treatment or the prognosis. And they were left on their own. And so Bob and Suzanne could have just taken care of their grandchild. They have the resources. But they launched Autism Speaks 7 years ago. And it has become an international worldwide, international, I'm being redundant, advocate for those on the spectrum.
If my math is correct on that ratio of 1 to 70 or 1 to 54, we've got something like 20 kids in the Nantucket schools who have autism?
More than that.
Really?
Yes. When I started as the director of the Resource Center, Nantucket Autism Speaks Resource Center, we had 15, and now I think we easily have 30.
Really?
And the Resource Center was a gift from the Wrights to this community. They love Nantucket. They wanted to give back. And what we do is try to lessen the isolation for families. We offer family activities, respite opportunities, so parents get a much-deserved break, educational forums. We have a babysitter companion list that's in hot demand in the summer. Families arrive and they hear about us and call and say, all of my other children are busy, but what is there for my child on the spectrum? And we're able to send this flyer. Thank you. And as you can see, it's double-sided, and this community is so generous. Businesses and organizations partner with us, and they offer sailing, surfing lessons, fashion camp, harbor cruises, and siblings are always welcome. And the Resource Center is not limited to autism. We welcome individuals of all ages with any disability. And I'd like to say that the walk is what makes all this possible. And our walk,
August 17th?
Yes, thank you. It will be August 17th. You can register your team online. Autism Speaks has 80 walks across the country. That's how we do a bulk of our fundraising. And as I said, that's what makes the Resource Center possible. And by the way, it's a pilot program, the only one in the country under Autism Speaks umbrella, but they're hoping to start to replicate it.
So, tell us a little more about the walk.
Okay.
What happens?
And the walk is fun, and there's a lot of camaraderie. We have merchandise for sale, theatrical performances from our theater workshop, and the Dreamland. We have speakers, a resource fair of vendors from not only Nantucket but throughout New England who like to bring over their information and let families know that they're here for us. The walk is short. It's conducive for all.
What's the route?
It's Bathing Beach Road to on my streets here. It's a loop around Holbert Avenue. And it's strollers, senior citizens, everybody can do it. And we have refreshments. It's fun. It's a lot of wonderful friendship, which I think is important for these families to see the support.
And you can get on it at www.autismspeaks.org.
Yes.
What advice would you give to a family that is trying to deal with a child they don't quite know how to
they're coping,
handle,
right?
Coping, but
yes,
who obviously has an issue, but who do they go to? Do they go to their local pediatrician?
Yes, they should start. First of all, I always tell parents, trust your gut. You know your child best. So people might say, oh, boys develop a little later, or they speak a little later. That might be true, but get it checked out. The earlier we can identify it, the more supports that child will get that might help him overcome much of this disorder before he's an adult. But start with your primary physician or pediatrician. If it's a school-age child, they can be screened by a child psychologist or neurologist, and just get the support you need. And we're here for you. If you find that you do have a child that's diagnosed, we have a lending library, we have literature, very helpful from all over the region. Summer camps, we'll sit and brainstorm and problem solve. A nice quiet room the high school donates to us. And you're not alone. That would be my comment to somebody. You are not alone. And then we hope they'll join in our activities, and they'll see that they're not alone.
That's great. Again, the Walk for Autism Speaks is on, what is it, Saturday?
It's a Saturday morning,
August 17th,
yes.
8:30 at Bathing Beach Road.
Yes.
Please join in this wonderful cause.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank
Kim
you
Horyn,
very much.
Director of Autism Speaks.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you.